This is my 1996 E350 Skoolie short bus. This bus was converted by the previous owner and I have owned it for about the last year and a half. The exterior was painted by the previous owner's girlfriend and everything else on the outside is pretty much the way it was when I bought it. The only things that have changed on the exterior are the new tires, and I have installed a hood strap to keep the hood down because the hood catch is broken on the hood itself. The box in back here is where I store my generator. I've kept this bus on a very tight budget. Aside from maintenance and repairs, I've maybe only spent, I don't know, $6,000–7,000 total, including the purchase of the bus. So the interior is very simple, it's a very simple build, but very functional. The door comes with a nice set of blinds that pull down, and on the bottom of the door, I have lots of little pockets for storage. I have soap, shampoo, conditioner, water filters, things like that. At the front of the bus, the driver's area is fairly standard for an E-Series school bus. The only thing that you might not recognize from a regular Econoline would be all these switches here. Most of these don't work, but that controls the door, and this one controls my windshield wipers because the regular windshield wiper switch is broken. Over here is this little table, which I don't know if that's original or not, but the top comes off, and that's where I store mechanical things, things like emergency kits for the bus, so those are all under there. Above that area, I have this nice basket which holds my toothbrush, toothpaste, first aid kit, that sort of thing. You can see the interior of the bus was also painted by the previous owner's girlfriend, apparently. And the previous owner also installed this air conditioning unit, which doesn't really work all that well. It's not very effective, so at some point I'll probably take it out, but for right now it fills up a hole in the wall that would otherwise just be an open vent to the outside. Moving further back, I have this shelf which has all my pots and pans in it. I have my set of dishes, which I actually have a place setting for 4. For some reason there's like this stuffed squirrel which is living up there, and then just miscellaneous items like garbage bags and stuff like that. Further back in the bus I have my countertop, and you can see that attached to the countertop are a bunch of wires and strings, and so these 2 cables connect to my solar panel. I should probably find a better way of securing them, but for right now they're just kind of dangling there. And then here we have this cable here, which is holding in my emergency exit because it blew off in a storm while the bus was being repaired a couple months ago. For lights, I just use these little rechargeable, they're supposed to be under counter lights that turn on. They work quite well, and it prevents me from having to run wiring all over the bus, so you can just pull them off and recharge them. The countertop here was built out of just cheap lumber from Home Depot, but I think it turned out okay. Underneath the countertop, I have a shelf which has all my dry food, and then further back towards the back of the bus there are some just various electronics, books, stuff like that. And then on the very bottom shelf is my refrigerator and my tools. The refrigerator just pulls out, and it's a top-loading fridge, so it's easy enough just to load things in from the top. It is a small fridge though, so I don't really recommend it for more than one person, but it is a really good fridge and it's very efficient, and I've never had any problems with it. Underneath the far left end of the table, I have my toilet and the heater, and in the very far back is the battery. There's also a Home Depot bucket, and I use the Home Depot bucket as my gray water system. It's actually pretty rare that I have any place to dump gray water, so I ended up actually going without a sink, and I've been without a sink for several months now. It was a little bit rough at first trying to adjust to that, but now that I've been living without a sink for some time, I'm actually really preferring it, just because I don't have to worry about finding somewhere to dump gray water. And considering that Washington State has recently closed most of its rest areas, and there aren't a ton of campgrounds that are open, having one less thing to worry about is really good. The other side of the bus has my piano. Before I started Vanlife about 2 years ago, I was actually working as a concert pianist and piano teacher, so that's why I have the piano in my bus. It was one of the main reasons why I actually bought the bus, because there was nothing on that wall and my piano fit perfectly. I'm finding I don't actually play as much as I used to, but I think I probably will pick it up again, and until I decide one way or the other, I'm just keeping the piano with me and just kind of having fun with it and playing when I have free time. The piano is held in place by 2 cleats, one on each side, that look like that, and that rope holds my piano bench in. and I store my water over on that side. I also have an exercise mat, which I actually haven't used that much since I've been lifting in the bus, mostly because I work a very physical job right now. And over there I have my trash can. It's just a bucket, but it fits perfectly, so that's what I'm using. In the very back of the bus I have my bed area, which is covered by this window shade, and it actually works really well. Right above the bed area is where I store all my clothes. So I have my luggage, everything's just folded and kind of stacked there, and it stays pretty well most of the time. So back here, I have a sunshade that rolls up. It's actually quite handy in a lot of parking lots and places you park at night. People can see in the windows if they really try hard. And so this helps, and it also helps with things like street lights, helps keep the light out, but it's not so extreme that I don't wake up to the sun like I like to. The bed area is fairly straightforward. It's just a mattress, and periodically things land on my bed like a backpack, where I can't find room for it anywhere else. I also use this area as my main seating area. I don't really feel the need to install tables and chairs, things like that. It's almost always just me by myself, and I do have a portable set of tables and chairs that I used to have in the bus, but I never actually used them, so I decided to evict them, and that's where we are now. There isn't a ton underneath this bed. I store my dirty laundry up front, and then in the way back is absolutely nothing, and I'm keeping that space open so that I can use it in the future for a spare tire. I should be buying that spare tire here in the next month. Once I do that and finish up a couple of mechanical repairs, mostly I just need to get my oil changed, have a couple other fluids that need to be changed, and I have a ball joint and wheel bearing that need to be replaced. But none of that should be too major on this chassis. All those parts are fairly cheap because this is a standard Econoline, and by January I should have enough money to hit the road. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and I just haven't because I've had too many mechanical breakdowns and work has gotten in the way. But I'm really happy with the way things are going now, so January is the date to look forward to. If you're interested to see what this bus looked like back before I started remodeling the interior back when I first bought it, feel free to check out this video over here.